Welcome to another episode of the Arukah Holistic Podcast. I'm your host, Mayim Vega, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of red light therapy and its incredible health benefits. If you've been exploring holistic wellness, you've likely heard of red light therapy or photobiomodulation, but did you know that it offers much more than just skin benefits? Today, I'm excited to be joined by Scott Chaverri, the CEO and founder of Mito Red Light, a leading brand in the red light therapy space. Scott has years of experience in both business and wellness, and his passion for improving health through innovative technology has helped Mito Red Light become a trusted name in the industry. In this episode, we'll explore the science behind red light therapy and how it works to enhance cellular healing and why it can be an excellent addition to your health or healing regimen. Red light therapy is not a substitute for sunshine, but it can certainly be a beneficial addition to your holistic health practices. So let's learn more today about how to incorporate this incredible therapy into your wellness routine. Hello, Scott. Thank you for being here. Welcome. And I just want to jump into it by asking you how you got into red light therapy.
So I got into it right around the time I was turning 40. I was actually concerned about my testosterone falling, and I'd read an article about a famous biohacker using red light therapy to try and raise his testosterone. So that was my initial uh, use of it. Now, it did not work for me in full transparency in raising my testosterone. However, I did notice that I was sleeping a lot better when I was using the red light device regularly. So I actually I had a 3 foot panel that I was using regularly, and then I wanted more light so to kind of cut down on the time that I was using it. And when I went out to buy a second light, I kind of got sticker shock about how expensive they were. And I just realized that there might be an opportunity to build devices that give a good amount of light at the right wavelengths, but not break the bank. And that was really the origin story for the company back in mid 2018.
Love it. That's great. Okay, so I think a lot of people know the benefits of sunshine. Well, not in depth really, but they have some general knowledge of, sunshine is healthy, I need it to stay healthy, etc. And a lot of people these days, including myself, find it very hard, with our modern lifestyles to get out in the sun. And so are using vitamin D supplementation. Could you please compare and contrast sunshine versus vitamin D versus Mito Red Light and therapies such as that?
Right. Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of sunshine, and my one of the premises or the base case or arguments for using, in my opinion, using red and near-infrared light devices is that we are very sunlight deficient, right? Modern humans are spending about 93% of their time indoors, and we're not getting the sunlight that our ancestors even 50 years ago or 150 years ago were getting. So that's the premise that we're sunlight deficient. Now, taking that a step further, 54% of the energy we get from the sun is actually infrared, right? So if you're sunlight deficient, my argument is by definition, you're going to be infrared light deficient. Now, a lot of the discussion about sunlight deficiency tends to focus around vitamin D deficiency, which is also a biomarker of sunlight deficiency, but more specifically UVB light deficiency, right? So UVB, short wavelength, high energy light that's available from the sun, typically in the warmer months, and around midday, depends on your latitude. And so I do recommend going outside and I always go outside. I live in Phoenix and I go outside for a mid-afternoon walk every day to get some of that UVB light on my skin to try to keep my vitamin D levels up. But the reality is that even when we're health conscious and we're doing our best to spend time outside, we're just not outside nearly as much as we used to be. And so I believe that it makes sense to supplement with red and near infrared light, which is also very beneficial for the body.
Absolutely. And I know that you have a personal experience where um, with red light therapy and how it increased your vitamin D levels. Not you weren't trying to achieve that, but it did. And you have an article about that on your website as well, right?
We did, yeah, and so it was very strange because I kind of the short story is that when I moved to Phoenix in 2013, and I moved from upstate New York because I wanted more sun. So in Phoenix, there's plenty of sun. And I was spending a lot of time outside. I just got here and I was really making a point to uh, make the most of moving cross country and to spend a lot of time outside. But then I was testing my vitamin D and I was only testing at 40 or 45, really could never get it above a certain level. And I'd even tried, then I went to see a naturopathic physician and he recommended vitamin D supplementation at the time. I took 5,000 IUs a day for 3 months and I tested and my levels went nowhere. Then he recommended 10,000 IUs a day. And then I started to get skeptical of vitamin D supplementation. And so I stopped taking supplements. So from 2014 to 2018, I didn't take vitamin D supplements. But what I did start doing in 2018 was using red light on a regular basis and for a couple of years. And then when I retested in 2020 and 2021, my levels were high 70s, low 80s, no supplementation, and really no change in my lifestyle. In fact, I probably was spending less time outside than I was when I was testing a decade earlier. So it led me down the rabbit hole of putting forth the hypothesis that red and near infrared light could indirectly support vitamin D synthesis. And this is a hypothesis, but there's two main hypotheses. One would be that it's simply priming the skin, similar to how if you go out in the early morning, and there's a lot of talk in the biohacking sphere these days about getting early morning sun as part of rebooting your circadian rhythm. But it's also sending signals to the body that it's early morning, and typically in a few hours, the UV will be raining down on you, and so perhaps your body should start preparing for that. So there's a hypothesis that by exposing your body to red and near infrared light early morning, that you could prime the body and it could be more effective at making vitamin D from the UVB light it receives midday. The other hypothesis would just be on the kind of a direct or an indirect direct mechanism, if you will, in the sense that we know that red and near infrared light is very good for the skin, increases skin turnover, and to the extent that you have healthier skin and more skin cells, you have that are available to take that UVB light and synthesize vitamin D. That could be a way that red and near infrared light could potentially indirectly support vitamin D synthesis, if you will, by just having healthier skin and more skin cells available. And that was my N equals one because it was really strange to me that I was testing so high with no supplementation. But that's my N equals one. I do recommend to the extent that you can, going out midday for a midday walk. First of all, walking is great, but secondly, just getting that modest amount of UVB light from the sun on a regular basis, I think is a no-brainer. And then there are UVB light devices on the market too, and I happen to own one. I have it's called the Energy Lamp, ENYRGY. It's narrowband UVB. I use it a couple minutes a day, 5 days a week, and it helps keep my vitamin D high, which is, I think, generally a good idea.
Yes, absolutely. So I live in Texas, and I used to live in California, and the weather there was great. You could take a walk almost any month of the year, and it's just going to be beautiful. Here in Texas, it's like nasty 10 months out of the year, pretty much almost. There's we have one nice month in the spring and one nice month in the fall. And after that, it's either ridiculously humid and hot or super cold and makes my skin dry, because I belong in the islands. So anyways, so yeah, I know sunlight is so important, but with our modern lifestyles, we just find it very, very challenging. So red light therapy is increasingly popular, and I'm so glad I've been anticipating our talk today for a while. But there's a lot of skepticism, for people who aren't very, read or knowledgeable in red light therapy or just health and wellness in general. And there's a lot of skepticism still in a lot of circles. So how does Mito red light and its approach, how does Mito red light's scientific approach, what evidence do you have for the listeners, to give them?
Sure. Well, a few things. And first of all, I love skepticism. And I remember when I first heard about this, I was very skeptical. And I think that my initial reaction was, wait, it's just a red light. Like, why would that do anything, right? But these devices are not just a red light, like a red light bulb. These are very high powered, high irradiance, and very specific wavelengths of light. Um, and so that's the first thing I would say about it. The second thing I would say is there have been near 8,000 studies done on photobiomodulation or low level laser light therapy, kind of the names that you'll see in the literature. And we have a link to a database on our site where you can download it in an Excel spreadsheet and you can sort through it. It's an amazing spreadsheet. It's sorted by use and wavelengths and power density and whether or not the outcome was favorable or unfavorable or neutral. And you can really kind of do a deep dive on any specific use case. Fun fact, when I started the company 6 years ago, there were only 4,500 studies at that time. And so just in the past 6 years, it's almost doubled, which is, it's amazing time to be alive because we're just, the rate of human knowledge is increasing so fast. Um, so that's one thing I would say. Go look at, if you're skeptical, look at the database and read through even some of the abstracts of the studies that are in the database. The other thing I would say is this is established science. You can go to Wikipedia and look up the near infrared window in biological tissue. And this is established science that there's this window generally between 650 nanometer red and say 1250 nanometer near infrared, where these wavelengths of light are not absorbed by other chromophores in the body and can penetrate deep into the body and act on the mitochondria. So it is established science that we understand that there's this window in the spectrum where the wavelengths are long enough to penetrate into the body, but they don't get absorbed by water or other chromophores in the body like blood, hemoglobin, melanin, and they can get deep into the tissues and act on the mitochondria. So you can go to Wikipedia, look it up. You don't have to take my word for it. It's called the near infrared window in biological tissue, and it breaks down what I just said in a little bit more detail.
Absolutely. And some of the things that I've heard about is red light therapy can help with myopia. It can slow down worsening eyesight by improving vision and stopping the eye from elongating too much. It can relieve pain. It helps reduce pain from nerve damage by improving cell function and reducing stress and inflammation. And it works even better when you combine it with treatments like exercise or electric stimulation. The most effective light for therapy is between 600 and 900 nanometers. Would you agree with that?
It would. Our devices, aside, we have a couple of devices with blue light, but that's a very specific use case, generally for antibacterial purposes, like for acne. Blue light's good for that. But other than that one use case, all of our devices are using light between 6 and 900 nanometers.
Okay, and I've also heard that 800 to 810 nanometers is especially good for reaching deeper tissues.
That is correct too. I agree with that statement. We have a helmet that we use that we designed for brain health, and that helmet uses 810 nanometers because I've seen in the literature that wavelength in particular has been shown the best for penetrating into the skull. And so if you want to get light to the brain, 810 nanometers has been shown to penetrate the deepest. And that's really interesting. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole of why that is, but it has to do with in my strong opinion is it has to do with the absorption of the different of light of the other chromophores, the other light absorbing molecules in the body. 810 seems to be the intersection of the lowest point of absorption of all these other light absorbing molecules in the body, whether they're water or hemoglobin or melanin. If you look at that chart, you see right around 810 is where they all kind of nadir. So it kind of makes sense that that would be the wavelength that would penetrate deepest into the body because it's not getting absorbed by these other chromophores.
Right. And also, it can boost your energy production and melatonin in your cells and just improve overall health. I know someone who's actually using red light therapy to help with holistic cancer treatment because chemotherapy failed. And so it's how long would you say a typical therapy session lasts if you were to use one of those machines?
We generally recommend about 10 minutes
Oh, only 10 minutes.
at the usage distance, that we we really we've worked hard to understand the literature and kind of the dosing guidelines. And generally speaking, the power density you want is somewhere between 10 milliwatts per square centimeter and 100. And so you want to be in that window. And so our devices at 6 inches are anywhere from 35 with something like a handheld up to 75 milliwatts per centimeter squared. So we're right in that dosing window. The mask, for instance, is only 15, but that's right up on the skin. And skin, you don't need as much power. And then, and so that's the kind of the temperature, if you will. But then there's also the duration. And so the duration times the intensity, you get a measurement called joules. And generally speaking, you want to be somewhere between 10 joules and 60 joules, depending on the use case. So one of the things that differentiates us is we have all of our devices professional diagnostic testing, so we know the exact power that it's putting out at the usage distance, and so you know exactly how much light, and you can do the calculation and the math to calculate the joules that you're delivering.
Awesome. Now, of course, besides pain relief, I know that red light therapy shows a lot of potential in helping with brain-related diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and mental health issues like anxiety and depression. I know you have a lot of different devices on your website. Could we maybe take a look at that and, and if you could tell us like what device would be best for which use case?
Sure. So we started off with very basic panels. You see panels on the left there. I still like panels as generally speaking as being kind of the best all-around option, because at the end of the day, you can get a panel, whether it's a tabletop or a full body size panel, and just shine it on the area of concern. And or if a lot of our customers use red and infrared just for general health and wellness purposes, shine it on as much surface area of the body as you can would be my general recommendation. Now, having said that, we there's something to be said for portability. So we have portable devices that you could take with you when you travel. And then we have flexible devices, which are not as powerful or as versatile as a panel, but maybe it could be more convenient to use. So we have a mat that you can lay on and you can, do stretching or yoga, or we have a belt that you can wear. I mean, my wife wears the belt every day when she walks on the treadmill in the morning, and so because she can just wear it while she's walking, so she's doing two things at once. And so we've developed these other form factors, uh, for which they have their place in terms of convenience or portability. Having said that, if you're only going to invest in one thing, I would strongly recommend getting a panel, just because it's going to be the most versatile, the most durable, and the most powerful option. And again, we've been in business 6 years, and we've got some of the original panels looks obviously still going strong. It's one of the things about LEDs that's fantastic is that there's really, if they're properly designed and you have a good active cooling system, they should last a really long time. So you should think about it as an investment that you amortize over many years, because properly cared for, the device should last you a very long time.
Awesome. Okay, great. That's a great overview. So, well, there's another question that I want to. Yes. Okay. So, what are some of the most inspiring customer stories that you've encountered, and how have people using Mito red light devices, what have they said, and are there any surprising benefits or uses that people have shared with you?
Well, I would say that the most common piece of feedback we get is improved sleep. And we hear that even, well, why it's surprising sometimes is that we hear that even with smaller devices, which surprises me, because the studies that I've seen where they show benefits with sleep and an increased melatonin in the blood, typically they're doing whole body or full body. And so when I have I still kind of scratch my head a little bit when I have a customer that has a tabletop that's like, I've been using it and I notice I'm sleeping better. I'm just like, wow, that's pretty amazing actually. Because it's not anywhere near close full body illumination, and somehow it seems to be helping you get better sleep. I mean, that's fantastic. So And I think that we understand the mechanism of that because it essentially, I can give you the Cliff Notes version, is red and near infrared light increase mitochondrial energy production, increase ATP, increase cellular activity, and but there's no free lunch in biological systems, right? So you're increasing cellular activity, so you do get a transient increase in reactive oxygen species or free radicals. So what the body does is says, okay, that means I need to upregulate my antioxidant pathways, and one of those is melatonin, right? So, and I think we've all kind of experienced that when we spend a lot of time outside in the sun. I mean, I usually sleep like a baby on those days where I'm outside all day, and I think, I believe that that's the one of, if not the primary mechanism, is this downstream increase in what's called extrapineal melatonin production, meaning not the dim light onset melatonin production from the pineal gland that happens when the sun sets, but the melatonin that's made inside the cells in response to red and near infrared light. And so you actually build this reservoir of melatonin when you're exposing the body to red and near infrared light during the day, and then you've got more melatonin to spare at night when it's time to fall asleep. So, but anyways, even though I understand the likely mechanism, it still always surprises me when somebody with a small light tells me that they're sleeping better. And we hear anecdotes all across the board from skin health or and the thyroid is one that surprised me many years ago when I had somebody tell me that they were able to get off the thyroid medication. I wasn't aware of that. Now I know that the thyroid's actually quite sensitive to red and near infrared light, so you actually want to be modest with the dosing there. But and again, these are anecdotes, and so we don't make any specific medical claims other than we strongly believe that most modern humans are very deficient in red and near infrared light, and they're beneficial, and they work at the level of the mitochondria to help the cells make energy. So if the cell has mitochondria, there's potential for the cell to benefit, right? And frankly, just give it a try, and if you don't like it, send it back. I mean, you get a full refund.
Wow. What is your window for that?
2 months.
Wow, that's amazing. You can get a lot of therapy from just 2 months.
Yes, you get
That's a
a
great
free.
deal.
I mean, it could be a free 2 month rental
Oh
on
man.
Mito Red Light if you decide that you don't like it or you're not happy. I would say that you do have to pay for the shipping back unless at checkout we have this free return shipping option. You pay a few bucks, but that's really the only cost if you don't opt for that. You just pay to ship it back. We don't charge any restocking fees. We really just want to get the devices in people's hands and give them an opportunity to try it. I would just ask that you actually do try it, and you actually do use it. Think about like how you'll work it into your routine and use it on a regular basis because obviously you have to use it to realize any benefit.
Wow, that's an amazing deal. That's probably one of the reasons that you are set apart from your competitors. But besides, your great refund policy and also your prices, viewing your website just right now, you had really great prices compared to a lot of other sources out there that I've seen. Besides that, how would you say Mito Red Light compares to other red light therapy companies out there?
Well, first of all, I believe in delivering exceptional value, exceptional service, and just an exceptional customer experience, period. So we don't want one unsatisfied customer on planet Earth. That's I work backwards from there. And that's part of why we have the full refund policy and the 60 days. And we have a 3-year warranty on most of our panels. And the other thing is, we want to make these things accessible. So we try to have very competitive pricing and really, again, deliver exceptional value. The other thing we try to do is deliver the widest selection of any company in the industry. So we have 4 different types of panels with different combinations of wavelengths, different features, trying to find, and different price points. So anywhere from $250 for a very good tabletop up to 6,000 for a full body giant panel with 1,000 LEDs and 11 different modes and a lot of bells and whistles, and then everything in between. So we really try to create a diverse selection of products, all delivering exceptional value, so that somebody, if they're interested in trying red and near infrared light, they can come to us and we can find a solution for them.
That's wonderful. Those are great business principles to live by, and I believe that following those principles, you're just going to get to the top of your industry. So, I wanted to ask another question, which is that what does your personal wellness routine look like, and how do you incorporate red light therapy in your personal health?
Super blessed. So I have a lot of red lights in and around my home and here at the office. So typically I wake up and I do go out and say hello to the sun first thing in the morning and I ground and have a glass of water, sometimes a little salt or some electrolytes mixed in. And then I'll come in and I make breakfast for the family. And then when my kids head off to school, I usually do my red light right there first in the morning. And I have a beautiful kind of what I call a full body sandwich setup with two giant panel setups, and I just stand in between for 10 minutes. I do that 3 to 4 times a week, and then we have a wonderful bed here in the office that we sell mostly to businesses. And so sometimes if I don't get my red light session in the morning, at lunchtime, I will use the red light bed and also the energy vitamin D lamp that I mentioned earlier. I try to be congruent with nature, and so I use that energy UVB lamp. I try to use it around noon when that's when my body would, in the natural order of things, be outside getting UVB light. So I will use the red light bed to prime my skin, and then I will use the energy lamp right after it when I do a midday session.
Awesome. Those are great tips. Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that that we got in touch and that you came today and spent this time. And as we wrap up this episode, I just like everyone to remember that sunlight is a critical part of our health, and nothing beats the natural energy that we receive from the sun. However, if you're looking for a way to enhance your healing journey and are like me and you know are confined to the four walls of your house the majority of the day, whether it's for skin health, muscle recovery, or reducing inflammation, or just overall physical or mental health, red light therapy from trusted brands such as Mito Red Light is a great addition to your wellness routine. So please check out Scott's website, mitoredlight.com, to experience these benefits firsthand. And Scott, before we go, what are just some closing words that you'd like to end with?
Well, thank you so much for having me. And you know, we're on a mission to uh, make red and near infrared light more accessible. So if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at info@mitoredlight.com. Or we also have phone support Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 Mountain Time. You can give a call, and one of our knowledgeable associates will be happy to help you.
Awesome. Shalom.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Algar and I am the host at Expertise TV, and I'm very excited to be introducing you to our guest today, Mayim Vega. Now, Mayim Vega is a former NASA computer scientist turned holistic healer after facing a very personal health crisis, which the modern medical system could not resolve. In 2009, she founded Arukah.com, which offers an holistic healer certification program focusing on 3 pillars: naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing to empower people to become holistic healers and achieve maximum impact in the world. Mayim combines her scientific background, natural healing methods, and faith in the creator and great physician to guide others on a path to personal and professional well-being. Mayim, it's clear that you are very passionate about the topic of holistic health and particularly helping people who are wanting to transition into this approach. How did you find yourself in this line of work, and why is this work so important to you?
Thank you, Ashley, for taking the time to speak with me. And I'd love to answer that question. So, the way I found myself in this line of work starts with my story of when I transitioned from becoming a computer scientist at the NASA Ames Research Center to becoming an entrepreneur and building my first online business in digital marketing. And the reason why I did that is so that I could stay at home and be with my newly born son at the time. And now I have 7 children of my own, and I always wanted to homeschool them and just be there for them. And so that's why I became an entrepreneur. But my first, my first few years as an entrepreneur was extremely difficult. And I thought it was healthy, but later on, after all my studies, I realized there were a lot of things that I was doing that was not very healthy. They were not very healthy habits that I had. And what ended up happening was I got really sick and I thought I was on my deathbed. And I was rushed to the emergency room. And the doctor actually thought that I had a brain tumor. But after extensive testing and examination, she told me that there was nothing wrong with me. I just, I was experiencing a lot of pain, but they had nothing for me. There was nothing they could do for me. She said that she could give me some really strong painkillers, but that's really it. She couldn't really get rid of the problem. And so I took the painkillers, but again, painkillers and any pharmaceutical drug never address the root cause of illness and disease. And that's exactly why this line of work is so important to me and why I went on my own personal journey to become a holistic healer, to study nutrition, herbalism, holistic health, and holistic life coaching, is because we all know people, and maybe probably even ourselves, who, just like me, went to the modern medical system because that's the expected thing to do. That's a normal thing to do. And, tried to get health and healing that way, but hit a dead end, hit a brick wall, and we either got medications that didn't work or that only worked for a while, or that caused side effects that were so terrible that we had to get on other medications, plural, and maybe even the medication or medications caused side effects that caused other health issues. And sometimes the health issues are worse than the first problem that you originally had. And we're on this ridiculous roller coaster of drug after treatment after procedure, because the modern medical system never addresses the root cause. And medical professionals who have woken up know this. And that's why I have medical professionals in my program, including, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, medical technicians, etc., who are learning from me, who are, taking the certification program because they realize that our system is broken and we need to fix it. It is our destiny as humanity to overcome all this nonsense, really. We can do better and we will do better. I know it. And that's why, in my certification program, sometimes I joke around. No, it's not really a joke, but I say, I'm empowering not just holistic healers, but holistic warriors. We're in a battle. We're in a battle over our own health and healing to safeguard and protect that, and that of our families and friends and community, of course, as well. And we're also in a battle against very powerful people who, because of profits, like to suppress holistic health and healing truths to keep us just sick enough so that we need something, pharmaceuticals, but not well enough to ever get off them. That is truly the goal of big pharma, of the pharmaceutical industry. It's not true. They don't want to heal us. They don't want to cure us. They want to keep us just sick enough so that we keep giving them our money. And you know what? Me personally, I have better things to spend with my money, like on good food, clean herbs, things that don't cause these ridiculous side effects that we experience with pharmaceutical drugs.
Thank you, Mayim. So that brings me to my next question. What are some of the key benefits of transitioning from the conventional healing approach to a holistic approach in health and healing?
Okay, so that's another really great and important question. The key benefits of transitioning from conventional healing to a holistic approach are, right now, I can think of three main reasons. Number one, the holistic approach is safer. Number two, the holistic approach is more effective. And number three, the holistic approach is the true approach that gets to the root cause. Okay. Now, I'd like to illustrate the first point, the safety of holistic medicine. If someone who was taking some, let's say blood pressure medication or something like that, visited me at my house, let's say I invited them over for dinner, and let's say they had to take some of their medicine and they dropped one of their pills, right, in my dining room or in my living room floor. Now, I have very small children. I have a 4-year-old. And what if my 4-year-old found that pill on the floor and thought it was candy or something like that and put it in her mouth and ate it? What would happen? I would immediately have to call the poison control center to get that pill out of her system, because those pills can have deadly side effects. But what if someone dropped a vitamin C pill or a tincture, and one of my children found it? For the most part, if they found it and took it, they might have a little diarrhea. It might be really spicy on their tongue, and so they would stop taking it. But no, I wouldn't have to control the poison control center, because vitamins and herbs and minerals are extremely, like 1,000 times safer than pharmaceutical drugs. There's a few types of, supplements that you might have to call the poison control center, but for the most part, no, you won't have to do that, because our body knows how to work with those substances. It is not a drug. It is a healing tool. Okay. So completely safe. Also, exercise, diet, those are all safe, right? Sleep, those are all part of holistic health and healing. Completely safe, zero side effects. Now, let's talk about the effectiveness. The holistic approach is more effective. And the reason why we know this is because in my practice, and this is the experience of many holistic healers, when it comes to the conventional ways with the pharmaceutical drugs, as I said before, they don't deal with the root cause. They just mask symptoms. So, you might take a cough suppressant, let's say, for example, but if you are not dealing with the root cause, why are you coughing in the first place? Why do you have allergies? Why do you have the flu, etc.? Why is your immune system not strong enough to overcome this in just a few hours or just a day or two, overnight? Why? Because you have not built up your immune system. You haven't boosted it or lived the kind of life that you need to in order to avoid those common illnesses altogether. I have one of my students is a medical doctor, and she said that she used to take anti-allergy drugs every single week because of her allergies. The allergy drugs don't boost your immune system. They just suppress it. They just oppress your allergy symptoms. But when you have allergy symptoms, it's your body talking to you and telling you, hey, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this thing that you're eating or this environment that you've just stepped into because of my state of being. I'm not strong enough. That's what your immune system is saying to you. But I taught her a really powerful vitamin protocol that actually boosts your immune system so that your immune system is strong enough to overcome allergies. And so that's the difference. It is effective because it is true. It is true holistic health and healing because it strengthens your immune system. It doesn't silence it, like I said before. And the third issue is the root cause. Holistic health and healing deals with the root cause, and the conventional approach of drugs and surgery, etc., does not. That doesn't mean that you sometimes don't need surgery, for example, or in an emergency situation need a drug. but you're not dealing with the root cause. And if you deal with the root cause, you can make your problems either go away or become extremely minimal, safely, effectively, and naturally, without poisoning your body and causing the roller coaster of side effects.
Mayim, you have developed an incredible program that you've already mentioned called the Arukah Holistic Healer Certification Program, which you have specifically created for those looking to either transition into the holistic approach or for those who are wanting to grow in their knowledge and practice. Can you talk us through what differentiates this program from other similar programs that are currently out there?
Thank you, Ashley. Yes, the certification program at arukah.com is really, truly incredible. And there's a few things that set it apart, actually, many things, but I'd like to focus on a few. And one of them is that when I designed the program, I designed it for someone who was in my situation many years ago, someone who was a busy mom who had a lot of work to do and, a lot of things on her plate, but still wanted to empower herself with the knowledge of holistic health and healing for herself, for her family, so she could take care of her family, and maybe even build a career where, very specifically, she could stay at home and, just like me, be a stay-at-home mom. And, even a homeschool mom. I've been a homeschool mom. My oldest is 20 now, and I homeschooled him the whole way. And he's already graduated college, and he's got a computer science degree, and he's an entrepreneur himself. I instilled that dream in him. So being able to, I was able to surpass my income at NASA, and still homeschool my children. It's pretty awesome achievement. And so I wanted to empower people in my program to do exactly the same as I've done, to become a holistic healer, to have a successful online business so that they can have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, meaning that there's no glass ceiling. No one who you need to get a raise from. You just have to help people. That's how I get paid, is when I help people, right? And so that's one of the advantages. Another advantage is it's very hands-on and apprenticeship based. And you could go to a college to study to become a naturopathic doctor, or another holistic professional like a chiropractor. But it's going to take a lot more money, and a lot more time as well. This program can be completed in 1 year, but because, all of my students pretty much are busy professionals already, or busy moms, it's self-paced. So, if you have a lot of things on your plate, it's okay. It's still going to be there for you. There's not like a time limit. You're not going to, your grade's not going to be lowered because you submit an assignment late or anything like that. It's self-paced. And so I've designed it for the busy mom, or the working woman. And another thing that sets it apart is we have three core pillars in our program. One is that our students study naturopathic herbalism. And that takes up the bulk of our program. And naturopathic herbalism includes studying the foundations of holistic health and healing, identifying toxins and detoxification, also nutrition and orthomolecular nutrition, or megadose vitamin therapy, as well as herbalism, which includes also homeopathy and aromatherapy with essential oils. And also they study Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. But it's mostly focused on Western medicine, Western herbalism, And then the next core pillar, the second one, is holistic life coaching. And the reason why holistic life coaching is part of the program is to incorporate the mind spirit aspect of it, right? If herbs and supplements are the alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. Well, holistic life coaching is like the holistic alternative to psychiatry. It deals with the mind and the spirit, and spirit has to be part of it because we are spiritual beings. We're not just physical beings, we're also spiritual beings. Now, a lot of holistic health and healing schools are based on different religions, New Age, or other pagan religions. And this program, because I'm Jewish, is based on the Creator. It's based on the Bible and biblical principles, Judeo-Christian principles. And so, therefore, I have a lot of people who are of that faith persuasion. Jews, Christians, or people who maybe they don't really identify as Jewish or Christian, but they're open to it, or they grew up in that faith, and they don't necessarily want all the new age spirituality. They want the kind of spirituality that they are comfortable with and used to. That's another thing that sets us apart. And life coaching is all about mindset and how to have healthy relationships with yourself, with others. Of course, also, with food and your body and lifestyle. Holistic life coaching encompasses all of that. And it's a very important part of holistic health and healing, especially because stress is often the root cause of many illnesses, common illnesses, and also chronic diseases. So, that mind and spirit aspect is very important. And the third aspect is online business marketing. And again, the reason why that's important is because, as I told you, I really want my students to thrive and to be able to, have that time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, which an online business provides. But also because, there's not a lot of jobs for herbalists, or life coaches even. And so we really have to be entrepreneurial. And it's very, very rewarding. And because of my background, with my digital marketing business, my first business, I can really help people in that department.
Thanks so much, Mayim. So I love the power of testimony and hearing people's personal experiences or journeys. Can you share some of the success stories that might be coming to mind or testimonials from past students?
Yes, we certainly have a lot of success stories and testimonials, and we'll show some of those testimonials at the end of our talk today in this video. But I could talk about a few of them that are maybe recent. One of them is one of my students. She told me that she wanted to become a nutritionist, but I guess her life's journey didn't really allow for that. So when she heard about my program, my certification program, when it first launched, she joined, and she really wanted to help her husband, who had been suffering from colitis under the care of doctors for about 20 years, ever since he was in the military. And he was going from medication to medication and, suffering with diarrhea and insomnia and restless legs and indigestion and, all these terrible things that colitis can cause. And so I actually created a custom module for her to help her husband with that. And in 2 months, she helped her husband get off the medication and heal from colitis using food and herbs and natural holistic healing methods. So that was a great accomplishment for her. And, I get people, contacting me saying that I helped them grow their hair back, or actually someone said, "Oh, you helped save save a little girl's life," just beautiful, wonderful things like that. You helped me heal my daughter, you helped me grow, regrow my teeth so I don't have pain from cavities anymore, just all these wonderful testimonies. And that's the reason why I love doing what I do. And and you will too, if you join the program. It's so rewarding and fulfilling to understand and to know that you are helping people, truly helping people, in ways that they can't get in the modern medical system. It's so rewarding.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mayim. I can only imagine the sense of reward when people start applying these principles to their lives and actually see a change and transformation. And for somebody as passionate as you are around this topic, to witness that and to be a part of that, I imagine that the reward is priceless. Another common question that arises is, once someone completes the program, what are some of the practical steps one would take in order to start a successful career in holistic health?
Okay, that's a great question. And that's actually what the third pillar of our program is all about, is, what do you do? Practical steps on what you would do to start a successful career in holistic health. And in that program, we teach our students how to create a high ticket transformational health coaching program that really helps people deal with a serious a problem, a serious health issue. And that doesn't mean that it's a deadly problem, but it can be something that really affects their life, right? Even skin disorders can really affect your life, right? Even though it's not necessarily deadly. Weight loss could be something that is dealing with a serious issue. There's so many different types of health coaching programs that one can make, anxiety, depression, hormonal issues, etc. So they build, and it's part of the program. They will do this while they're still in the program, and we'll support them the whole way. Is to build that first high ticket health coaching program, and then set up their online assets, such as their website, their social media, a video sales letter, press releases, podcasts, all those things that online entrepreneurs need in order to connect with people, get their message of health and healing out there, and build and grow and scale their business.
Thank you so much, Mayim. It's been so great talking with you today. But before we close, for those that would like to get started on the journey to becoming an holistic healer and wanting to learn a little bit more about the certification program, how do they go about contacting you?
Yes, it's been wonderful talking to you today as well. And for all those who would like to get started on their journey to become a holistic healer and learn more about the certification program, all they need to do is visit the website, www.arukah.com, ARUKAH.com, and dig into that and schedule a discovery call. And I would love to be your mentor, your health coach, your teacher in guiding you to become a holistic healer, to become the healer of your home and your family and your community, and to help you build a profitable online health coaching business.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Mayim. So there we have it, folks. If you are ready to move forward in your own journey of becoming a holistic healer, then you can visit the website at www.arukah.com, where you can schedule your first discovery call. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.